I'm doing a little work on the cargo trailer today. We're getting pretty close here, I think, to start getting this prepped for packing some things. But there's a few odds and ends I need to finish up before we start doing that. So first off, I went to Harbor Freight and I got some straps and tie downs and stuff to use on the E-Track. And the shelf, I think we're just gonna keep it one shelf right now because we're probably gonna be stacking like tubs underneath it and on top of it. And I don't know if I wanna take up a lot more space with another thick thing there. You know, that's gonna be enough to give us enough height, and we're gonna have clothes hanging up here anyway. So this is another project I'm working on today. I got this wood clothes hanging rod, I guess you call it, that I'm gonna put across here to hang clothes on. And then I got these little hangers that I'm gonna use. So those are gonna go up there on each end, and you just set the rod down in there. So I'm trying to figure out exactly where to put these. That makes the most sense for this bar going across here. So I got a hanger so I can kind of tell, you know, how big or how far this way to go. And I'm kind of debating about this, like how high, because I mean, I would like it to be high up here, so it's, you know, there's more room for the clothes to hang down. The problem is, when I get up here, this is like, this board only goes to right there, and then this is just a piece of trim up the top, so I can't really go all the way up. And then I don't really want that hanging off like that, so I think I'm gonna have to go down lower here like this to put my little hanger on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this one and then measure from that trim over and do the same thing on the other side. Now, those should be more or less straight across from each other. I don't think it has to be perfect, but it's probably as close as it's gonna get for me. All right, so I'm gonna drill a pilot hole for this first one. And this came with pretty short screws. And well, first of all, originally I was thinking of putting this out here so that I could zip some screws into the actual metal stud there. But if I do that, my clothes are gonna be hanging in front of my door here. So if I do set this over some, it's not gonna be quite so bad. That's why I'm going over here, and I'm just putting it into this plywood. But this is really thick plywood, so I think it's gonna be okay. The plywood is like thicker than these screws are long. So I would think this would be okay if this is the screw that they give me with the little bracket. You would think it would be good enough to hold this thing up. You would think. If it falls down, I'll let you know. That's already, just that one screw is on there pretty good. So drill some more pilot holes here. You know what, I'm gonna wait on that and get the other one put in first, and then cut my wood bar to go across, because I could see how I'm putting the screw in the top, so this could turn side to side and be a little bit off going across there. So if I leave these out and put the bar in, I could get it lined up a little better and then zip some screws in after I get that kind of set. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that other side up now. And I'm not really drilling very far in whenever I'm doing this pilot hole. I'm mainly just doing it so it's a place for the screw to set, because I don't want to get too much material out of there, because I want those screws to bite well enough to hold in. I don't know if that's right or wrong. That's just the way I'm doing it. So if you go to hang a curtain around, you do it however you want. Yeah, and here's David not thinking. That ain't gonna work, is it? No, it is not. So we're gonna have to guesstimate on some stuff here. So my idea of doing what I was gonna do with the bar may not be working so well. Okay, so that's more or less where it should be on that hole. So I'm gonna mark down here where this is, and then that's gonna get me the height I need for being straight across. Problem solving, right? I don't want to wrench on that too much. It's pretty loose now, as you can see. If I do it too much, though, it's going to chew that wood out, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, onward to the bar. So I want this to be fairly snug, so I'm going to set my tape measure in there against the wood. And then over here, I'm going to measure up to the side of this metal, because there's like a lip inside of there. That looks like pretty much 81 inches on the nose. Of course, they got all kinds of tape and good stuff on here for me to fool with. And this is a 96-inch long rod that I got from the big box store. We're gonna have to cut it down to size. 81 inches, is that what I said? Yeah, surely. You know the measure twice. Yeah, I probably better measure twice. Cut once, because I only have one of these. Yep. 81 inches. 81. Always be careful when you're doing projects. Word of advice from my experience. If you read a tape measure upside down, because sometimes, you know, numbers look different. And then you mark things incorrectly. Alright, see if I did it right. Put that dude in there. There it is. Yeah. That's gonna work. There's a little bit of play in there, so what that looks like is pretty much straight across. I think once we get weight on that, that's gonna be pulling down pretty hard. I might get some wire or something and put around these two supports up here and tie around it just to give it a little extra support in the middle. Oh, that's unfortunate. That screw just fell right down the top of the E-track. And Lord knows where that went to. Well, guess I gotta find another screw. But this bar needs to come out for me to be able to get in there and put those in properly. He's pretty solid to me. Yeah, so not trying to be an advocate of hoarding here or anything, but it's really hard for me to get rid of extra screws and nails and that kind of stuff, because it seems like I'm always needing something and I don't want to run to the store after it. So I just went out and rummaged through my little things full of extra screws, and I found that dude, which looks to be just about the same size as these, maybe a little bit longer, but it'll be plenty good for this application. And I already did the little pilot holes and got one in here, but it's the last screw. Yep, works just fine. That's pretty tight. All right, I didn't have any wire laying around. I think it's out at the out at Brambleberry, but I did have this piece of rope, so we're gonna use the rope to kind of support this here, and seems like it's doing pretty well. It's keeping that from bowing quite so much. And then once again, I still have to, at some point, I'm probably gonna fool with it now, get something to put across there so that that won't pop up out of there. All right, so I got the shelf moved down, and I was just kind of estimating here, we may end up moving again, but we're kind of just wanting to put like tubs under there of stuff, and then probably we'll set more tubs up here. But by the time that gets up, you know, the tub height, you know, our clothes are gonna be hanging down. So I don't know if we even, like another shelf might just be a waste at this point for that. But I got the stuff to do it if I want eventually. On the last little odds and end task that I've got to do today in here, besides cleaning up, is there's some screws that need to go into the E-track. We never finished screwing that in completely because we ran out of screws when we were installing those, but I got some more now. So I'm gonna do that and then clean up in here, and then we should be, I guess, pretty close to moving stuff into it. All cleaned up and ready to start moving stuff in here. If you have battery operated tools, this little dude, very handy. Okay, it's time we pack.